3, 2, 1, go. Welcome back, everybody, to the Triad of the Force podcast, a podcast from 3 Puerto Rican friends coming together to do deep dives into Star Wars and other nerd-related media. Welcome to our May the 4th Star Wars extravaganza episode. Today, we begin our journey to Star Wars Celebration by celebrating what is probably the most iconic day of Star Wars. I mean, it's the pun that created itself in a way from George Lucas, if I'm not mistaken, fumbling his words at at an interview and saying, "May the 4th be with you," or something along those lines. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever. Something happened at some point that became so infamous that today has been officially acknowledged as the official Star Wars Day. Not just that, but it's the official Star Wars month. This month is so packed with Star Wars things, which obviously culminate with Star Wars Celebration, that it's just impossible to keep track of it. But today we will try to do the best that we can for it. But before we get going, don't forget, these are the words to action now. Don't forget to hit that bell, do the follow thing, hit the subscribe button, leave a review, leave a comment.
Friends and family.
Share with your friends and family. Do all those things. I lose track with what other calls to action that I have to do because we're on podcasts, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, and all of those things are same but different. So in whichever platform you're engaging with us, please make sure to engage with us. And, it helps boost the channel and we definitely appreciate it. But before we get into anything, as you notice, Nani's not here today. She is in the midst of her final exams for law school. And that is that's not an easy thing to do. Mo, let's get to know what Nani's going through a little bit right now, because you had to go through law school exams, especially in second semester of first year. What does she have forward to look for?
Almost like I always forget that I went to law school. So a long time ago.
So in a galaxy,
far away.
In a Caribbean island.
Not so far away. To be honest, it's a lot of stress. A lot of pretty much law school boils down to the final. Everything hinges on your performance on that final.
Everything hinges on.
And you get a little bit of everything. You can get weird multiple choice questions that multiple answers are correct. Just one of them might be a little bit better, more correct, which is in itself a trigger for some. Then you have a lot of reading, just vast amounts of reading, and I just wish her. But let's be fair, we all know Nani. We don't have to wish her luck. Nani builds her own luck.
Yeah, she's one of those people that I was talking to Alden a little earlier about this. He was wishing Nani all the luck in the world. So Nani, if you're listening to this, Alden wishes you luck, but so do we, of course. He was saying that, Nani's one of those people. I was saying Nani's one of those people that she gets so nervous and, freaking out about the test. And then she breaks the curve, man. She's the one that gets the perfect tests, ruins the great adjustment for everybody else because she killed it, and rightfully so. She's the best. She is one of the shining jewels of our triad crown with 3 bright
we're blessed. We're blessed by it.
We are blessed. So it goes without saying, we wish Nani all the best in her exams, which she will quite obviously succeed marvelously at. And we hope for her to come back soon. But until then, focus on your studies, because studies do come first. But before we get going with everything else for Star Wars Celebration in May, we have announced it on Twitter, but we have not announced it officially on the podcast. We officially have the day, the time, the place that we shall be conducting our podcast live at Star Wars Celebration. So for all those of you that don't know, the best day of your lives, or maybe of the month, or maybe not even the best day, but at least a hopefully pleasant day is approaching. And it's going to be Saturday, the 20, let me double check so I don't mess up. Yes, Saturday, 28th at 11 a.m. on the podcast stage. Triad of the Force shall be live, and we will be joined by our very good friends of the podcast, which we will now be friends in person. I'm so excited about that. Katrina Dennis and Alden Diaz will be joining us there on the stage. So please make sure to ignore Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau over at the main stage and come to the podcast stage where real stars are made, where we're going to have a very fun conversation about and intersectionality of Star Wars and representation in media and fandom. It's gonna be a deep dive. It's gonna be philosophical. It's gonna be fun, and you're not gonna regret it. It's gonna be the best podcast panel in the history of podcast panels.
X.
I hope I didn't build it up too much.
No lies detected.
if if anything, at least if you do go down there, you will get a Try Out of the Force podcast sticker. We have just ordered new stickers because if you have been checking out our socials and stuff, we did a little upgrade to like the design of it. And we obviously have a bunch of these left. So we will be having both sets of stickers. So everyone will get at least two. Maybe some pins. Who knows? Maybe we'll feel all charitable here and like have pins. So it's up to you to find out. You get a pin. Yes, please. I do not want to have anything when I come back. I don't want to bring back anything. Please take it. And I don't care if you put them in bathroom walls or in fire hydrants. As long as you're like placing them somewhere where someone can engage with it, that's all we need. So Mo, what's up? What's been going on with you? It's been a minute since we've talked. We took last week off because I know everyone's been having their life happen. I know my life has been a roller coaster the last couple of weeks. So what's going on with you?
I think we're all, on those life roller coaster. I think like 2022 came back with, a lot of highs, but also some lows. We're all dealing with a little bit of everything. But now getting ready to take the bar exam for next semester. So let's see what happens. So hopefully I'll still have some time along the summer to keep up the triad and keep our mind sane. Because we need with everything that's going on. We all need outlets. We all need, friends. We all need people out there that care about us and just talk about, life. And in this case, this podcast, just talk. And I think it's important to share that,
It is. I think you're absolutely 100% right. And I tell you guys all the time, for me, this podcast has been such a blessing, not only because, what's happening now with celebration, having like a community, on social media, but it's been more about those personal connections. Just me, I'm here in Chicago, so it's hard for me to keep in touch with some people, especially people that are far away. So like having like you and Nani, who have been like great friends of mine since forever. It's kind of a blessing to have a space like this where we can still keep in touch, but also like, maintain that flame of friendship while still talking about one of the things that we are passionate to talk about, even though we need to take breaks from Star Wars once in a while and talk about Moon Knight and all the other fun stuff. And we have some other interesting topics planned out, which Josie is going to join us for. So that should be a hint of what's to come. But yeah, podcasting is not just about how many listeners we get, although that's kind of cool, but about the friends we made along the way. And somehow, I feel that's what I'm most excited for. Oh, shit, my phone fell. What I'm most excited for, celebration. I've checked out all the panels, and we're going to talk about them in a bit. But I'm feeling like more excited to meet everybody that we've been friends with. Made friends with like on the socials, and we've had over as guests, and now like to kind of see those faces in reality, and be able to hug them and and talk with them in person is cool. It's like, oh, fellow nerds, we get to be friends in real life. Not that being friends virtually doesn't count, but there's that tangible feeling, the human touch that's so important.
Out of the metaverse into reality.
That metaverse. Let's not talk about billionaires and their weird things.
It's all a circle jerk.
I've had so much of like white middle-aged billionaires that to last me a lifetime. The problem is that they last a lifetime too, but never mind that. Also, if you're a fan and we haven't interacted and you want to talk to us, also please, come get your sticker, and also feel comfortable saying hi if you see us down in the panel show, and just say hi to be friends. That's always cool. We're very shy, so we won't say hi to you. You have to say hi to us first, and then we'll be more than happy to engage. But but without further ado, without further gilding the lily, let's start talking about May. So I did not know this, even though I probably should have, because it's kind of makes sense when you think about it. But May, even without Star Wars Celebration, is chock full of memorable Star Wars events, and it goes all the way back to 77 to the original trilogy. All of those films were released in May. Then the prequel trilogy, all of them were released in May. So let's kind of go over real quick. I saw this like handy dandy little checklist of all the important days on the socials. Nice. I don't know if it was Twitter or Instagram, probably Twitter, because I was able to save it on my phone. So it's this list. Let me show everybody. If you're on YouTube, you're going to see it. If you are on, what's it called? Apple Podcasts, you won't. It looks like this a little bit. So let's go over it. So obviously the first day, well, not obviously because I didn't know this, but the first day of May is 501st Day, which makes sense. There's a 1 in it. So sure, why not? It's one of the most popular legions. Then obviously today, when this episode releases, it's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, which is the most iconic one. Here, though, is one that I want to discuss with you more a little bit, because I don't know how I feel about this. Because there are two different teams on this one. And I am team the latter, and you'll see which the latter is. But May 5th is Revenge of the 5th. But I say that doesn't make sense. I say May 6th should be Revenge of the 6th, because that sounds closer to me to Sith than 5th, 6th, 5th. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Why not both?
Why not both? But if you had to choose, gun to your head.
I have to choose. To be honest, this is the first time I've heard Remember the 6th.
There you go.
So I granted it is more accurate. So, but in the spirit of, if you're gonna celebrate, why not go big? Why have a day in the middle? Just do 2 days in a row.
I don't disagree. I'll let I think people should celebrate what they want to celebrate. I still advocate for May the 6th. I mean, yeah, for Revenge of the 6th instead of Revenge of the 5th. However, I do like your option. Why not both? Why don't we just watch Revenge of the Sith both days?
Twice.
More is better. More is better. After that, it's May 14th, which I'm not good at keeping track of birthdays. So thanks to smartphones, because on my smartphone, I have everyone's birth. Excuse me. I'm drinking like the CVS. I'm burping a lot. I apologize, but I'm drinking the CVS because I'm trying to cut down on my Coca-Cola intake. That's bad for you and it makes you fat. So like these CVS are 0 sugar, 0 calorie, and they have a lot of carbonation. So there's a lot of stuff inside me. So that's coming up. So I apologize. But CVS, if you want to sponsor the show, please feel free, because I go through a lot of these. Anyway, birthdays. May 14th is the creator's birthday, the maker's birthday, George Lucas. George Lucas's birthday is also on May. What a serendipitous thing to happen, like in this wonderful month of Star Wars. May 16th is the anniversary of Attack of the Clones, which this year it's on its 20th anniversary. Can you believe that? 20 years. And that movie feels, I remember it was yesterday when I went to see in theaters.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you went to see it in theaters?
I do. I remember. I went to the theater in Plaza Carolina. I remember actually.
Did you go with friends? Did you go with family? What was that story?
I went with family back then. I think it probably was like I know we never went to like one of the first screenings. You know, we usually wait like a month or so.
Yeah,
like you know, we always like if you're paying for theater, there's like good logic. You know, you want the best seats. You want the
true.
like.
And back then, it was easier to kind of get away from spoilers and stuff. There wasn't the internet wasn't as prevalent as it is now. So it's just like you can take your time. Not like now, which like the Doctor Strange multiverse of madness spoilers are apparently already everywhere. So people have to be careful. Back then, you could have that luxury. I feel
you can have that luxury. You can still have that luxury. That is
ish. I have a need, you know, I have a need to see films. I remember, I remember like it was yesterday because back in those days, back at Pepperidge Farm, remember days, you didn't check the movie listings online, you checked them on the newspaper. And I remember that was my favorite thing when I was a kid, getting the newspaper and going on Thursdays. When was the movies on Puerto Rico? Fridays or Thursdays? Wednesdays or Thursdays? I think it was Thursdays. Going to the newspaper to the movie theater section and then seeing all the posters printed in black and white on the newspapers, and then like the listings of at all the movie theaters and seeing when the showings were. Oh my god, I remember seeing like the poster that they put on the newspaper was like the Yoda with the lightsaber, and I was like, that was the best thing ever for my stupid little young mind. And obviously,
you probably kept it. You kept it for a while. I'm sure you kept it.
Oh, probably. I know. I definitely redrew it because I was, you know, I like to draw. So I just redrew it and like tried to like get the colors and like recolorize it and be like, okay, let me try to interpret the colors as best as I remember from the movie. It was a treat. And then going to see the movie with my family. I don't know if it was my mom, just my parents, or like my sisters came along. But I remember I had a Anakin Skywalker lightsaber.
Yay!
And I went into the theater, and then the person that, you know, that breaks up your ticket, whatever they're called, they're not receptionists, but you know what I mean. They're like, oh, you can't come into the theater with the lightsaber. And I'm like, I'm a child. I'm a child. What are you talking about? It's like, oh, because
this is a
weapon to hit somebody. I'm like, this is plastic. It's a flashlight with some plastic, and I'm a child with my parents. Are you serious about this? Which I found absurd because I remember like in other screenings, like people bringing their lightsabers and stuff, but whatever, besides the point. So we had to run back to the car to leave the lightsaber to come back. How much of a terrible human being, I'm sure that person is a wonderful person right now, but how much of a terrible human being do you have to be at that moment in time to see a child and that enthusiasm in their eyes with their little dumb plastic lightsaber flashlight, the blue piece of plastic stuck to it, and say, no, you cannot enjoy your life. You cannot enjoy this movie for children in the way that it's meant to.
What a buzzkill. What a buzzkill.
What a buzzkill, man. So that's my memory of seeing Attack of the Clones 20 years ago. But it blew my mind. It blew my mind.
It blew my mind. Yeah.
It blew my mind.
I still remember my dad's reactions, like, what a crap, what a piece of crap. I'm like, yes, I don't know what you're talking about. At the time, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is the best
movie ever. Like Citizen Kane, Citizen Who? It's like, no, this is amazing film, which we'll talk about. I think we need to do like a retrospective of the prequels. We've been doing like our little retrospectives of like the first film, second film, third films of each of the sagas. I think we need to look at all three as a whole and like how they've held up to us. But anyway, let's keep going. May 19th, The Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith anniversary. Then May 20th is Empire Day, which I think that comes from Star Wars Rebels, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. May 21st, The Empire Strikes Back anniversary, which all of those who were at, it wasn't at Chicago. It was supposed to be 2019. The last convention was supposed to be at 2019. but it was canceled due to COVID. And then that was the year that was supposed to be the anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. No, I think I'm wrong.
The 40th.
I'm absolutely wrong.
No, it was the 40th of Empire Strikes Back.
No, it was 2020. 2020 was supposed to be the convention because A New Hope came out in 77 and Empire came out 3 years later in 1980. So it was supposed to be 2020, the convention. There we go. Figured it out. So there we go. 40th anniversary 2 years ago. Time flies. Jesus Christ. Then May 25th, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and Solo anniversary. So holy crap. Wow. We have a big birthday that day. And then finally to conclude everything, or to usher in the beginning of this podcast episode, May 27th. The CBS are really attacking me right now. May 27th, the season premiere of the long-awaited Obi-Wan Kenobi show. A twofer. 2 for 1. Holy crap, which is going to be amazing. And the best part of it is that it's going to premiere while Celebration is in motion. Celebration starts on the 26th, on that Thursday, and then let me double check again. Yes, 26th that Thursday, and then 27th is the premiere. What a way to start that convention. But before we get going and talk about the convention, Mo, what do you think of like Star Wars fun? That's a lot of stuff. I never put it together that it was so many things, so many fond memories across many a decade.
Yes, absolutely. It's like crazy how time flies. And, sometimes it feels like it's a lifetime, and then at times it feels like it was just yesterday.
Yep.
It's. I guess it's true. Time is relative.
And not just because of gravity.
Not just because of gravity.
That was a physics joke for all of you people that love Interstellar.
That's on a metaphysical level as well. Time is relative.
It's all experiential. Holy crap. But let's get going, man. Like, I know we've had like 2 episodes where we talked a little bit about Star Wars Celebration and how we speculated about some of the episodes the panels that were going to happen. Now we have final confirmation about all the panels that are going to be happening. And surprise, surprise, there's a couple more things happening besides the Triad of the Force panel. So we're going to kind of...
The best panel. But...
The best panel. So like there's all this extra stuff for everyone else. Yeah, like once you see like the thing you came to see, which is us, you can go and see all this other nerd stuff. So we're just going to go through it a little bit quickly. Obviously, it's a lot. It's on the StarWars.com website and the StarWarsCelebration.com website. So if you want to see all of these things more in depth, make sure to go over there and check it out. So we just want to go kind of quickly and like give our impressions. We were mostly right about mostly everything, but kind of wrong about some things, especially when it came to the films. But I got in the mail a little something. Something required.
Roll, please.
A little something required to go into the convention, which at other years has been amazing, have been beautiful. But the badge for this year's 2022 4-day pass is backwards. Here it is. It is something.
It's something.
I opened the letter with such enthusiasm, and then I just saw this thing with just like the brown and the super high contrast colors with like lots of saturated blacks, and I was just like, what is this? It just did not speak to me. I think it's a beautiful work of art, don't get me wrong. I think that would be really cool if it was like super large, like a really big print. I don't know, like a 12 by 36 or a 36 by or 24 by 36, or one of those like large format screen prints. But here, like condensed, like this is the first time I've seen like a landscape art piece featured as a badge art, which I found kind of baffling. Usually they go with like characters, like
Oh yeah,
when we
yeah.
went to
Show them. Show them.
Orlando. Yeah, I'm trying to do like some shuffling here. Like Orlando and Chicago had Ray, which I think like were beautiful. This is these pop. These are happy, good, fun designs, colorful. You can read immediately what it is. There's a joy in it, which the convention should have joy. But then this, maybe I'm a design snob because I'm an architect. I went to design
Oh, you
school,
are.
so I'm definitely a snob. But how do you feel about this? I'm curious. It's had a very visceral reaction.
It just, to be fair, it looks like a photocopy version of something.
Mhm.
That was like, it's sad. It's like, what doesn't even like, what am I attending? Like,
Yep. You don't exactly.
like what is this for? Like,
Yes, if you don't know that you're going to a Star Wars
any.
convention, you don't know what this is for. Because even the logo, right? You have like the Star Wars Celebration logo here on top, but it's black. So there's not a lot of contrast with like its background. So it's still hidden. Like the colors are so, it's well graphically designed, right? Because all the colors are all worked together. But the problem is that they're kind of in the same palette of colors. So everything is muted together. So the logo kind of blends in. All the detail here, like this portico threshold thing, everything that's happening in the city. It's like it's really hard to read. Like even here, like it looks bad. Actually, it looks better here on the screen than it does in person. Because when I'm looking at it, I really have to like put it, like angle it and like have it catch light so I can get all the detail that's in it. But it's just a weird choice. It's an ugly badge, frankly. And like brown is a terrible color. Brown is a hard color to make look good. And here it just looks like, like you went out drinking. This is what happened the next day in the bathroom, if you catch my drift. But wasn't too much of a fan. I saw the badge for the media badges, and those actually looked really good. It was also a landscape like this, but it was of Cloud City. So it was a little brighter, and you can see like the swoop cars or whatever the hell they're called flying around, and like that one looked pretty. Even though I still think that characters are better because they just are something. It's more of a call to action, I think, when you have characters than when you have like a muted landscape. Now, and this is not to disparage the artist by any means. I think the artist, I don't know who the artist is, but they know their stuff. I mean, it's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece. It's just that it's not a piece to be read this small. It's a piece to be read large and brightly lit, and it's not particularly well suited for a badge. So, I mean, it's a nitpick. Obviously, we don't go to the convention for a badge, although some people collect them. But it was odd. I think it was odd, and I think that feeling keeps going now with all the panels. So before we get into the panels, Mo, you had a chance to kind of go through them. What was your initial reaction, like overall, when you saw everything that's like scheduled for the convention?
The panels seem like, I don't know. It's, if it was just like a regular like convention that's happening like every year, like I get it. It's a good set of panels, and they're panels that are really intriguing. That's for sure. They have like some mystery to them. But the fact that there's like a convention that it was canceled the first, there's like
it's a rescheduled.
a reschedule. You're coming out of COVID, and there's a lot of like, there's like a need of like more like enthusiasm, and it just doesn't feel like enthusiastic, if that and the badge just sort of like mimics that. Like, is it just like a reflection of our times? Maybe, who knows?
Maybe. I mean, it's plausible, but I was disappointed. I mean, I'm not saying that there's like bad stuff in there. I just thought that a lot of the main things that they announced were things that they had already announced weeks ago. when we talked about it a couple episodes back here on this podcast. So I thought there were going to be some surprises. And I still think that there might be like one surprise, and we'll get to that. But
You Sherlock Holmes where the surprise is gonna
well,
be.
I don't know if Sherlock Holmes or if I'm just like a wishful thinking it. So so we'll see when the time comes. But yeah, I feel like especially with Kenobi coming out during, and that's where I think the surprise might be in. But with Kenobi coming out during the convention, I thought there would be like a little more fanfare with that. I thought there might be a little more of a showcase with video games. I thought there might be more like surprises with the films, but it's very, like you said, and actually we'll take it a step further. I don't think that this is stuff like if it were like a panel that happened every year. I feel like a lot of these panels are panels that I could see like at other conventions, not like the Star Wars main convention. I could see this at Comic-Con, a New York Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con, or even Puerto Rico. Okay, maybe not Puerto Rico Comic-Con. But C2E2, but there's nothing here that I'm just like, this is it. There's no like episode 9 panel. There's no episode, there's like no Jedi Fallen Order panel, or like the Rebels panel. There wasn't like anything like that. I'm just like, yeah, this is it.
And it might just be that we are writing like, and I think when they made the decision of like showing everything that was going to come in Disney Plus back in the day, I think it ruined a little bit of like,
it's a good point,
because like like why do you have to, like, we all know you're Disney, we all know everybody's gonna pay for like tease like 3 or 4 things at a time, what's coming maybe the next year or 2, but teasing everything that's under the sun, and then under delivering, then not having something scheduled to showcase in your convention. It's just it sets up that type of like disappointment. It's like it's always better to under promise and then whatever you bring over deliver. Like,
and right now they're over promising and under delivering to an extent.
They in all senses they've been over promising and they're just under delivering. And
I agree 100%. But let's get into it. Let's get with Thursday, the first day of the convention. I thought that would be like a slow day and there wasn't going to be a lot going on there. But there's actually like a bunch of. Well, it's a very good day. So thank whoever.
Like apart from our our harsh words, it's still like
right.
Shit.
Right.
Like,
there should be nuance to this. Just because we wanted the home run doesn't mean we won't take a single or a double. But thankfully, like I got a flight very, 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 very early in the morning. So like I'll be able to like be for some of these things if I'm able to get in, because once again they have the lottery system, which is good for them. I think that's a good idea. It worked for us last time. We were able to sneak into things a little more easier. I'm not gonna say, well, it was a resistance panel. Sorry for everyone that we cut in line in front of. We're sorry. We didn't mean to cut in front of you, except we did, and we don't regret it. But we did feel a little bad, but then it was totally worth it because we were right up front. But Thursday, May 26th, the main panel, which all the main panels are usually at 11 a.m. It's going to start with the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase. And it's going to be at the celebration stage, but then streamed simultaneously to Galaxy and Twin Suns. And this is a weird panel. It could be awesome, or it could be kind of like more of the same. It's just going to be talking about all the live action stuff that's happening with special guests and things that are coming soon. Specifically, it mentions Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and The Mandalorian, which I find odd that they would talk about The Mandalorian here when we have a panel for The Mandalorian on Saturday. But this is an interesting panel for me, because talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi the day before the show is going to premiere at midnight, I would think that they would have an Obi-Wan Kenobi panel. and then just focus on all the other shows on this. So like, I don't really know what to expect here. It's like, is Diego Luna gonna be here to like show us a teaser trailer or like a sizzle reel? It's like, I don't know what they can have that would merit a full hour of this panel. I'm intrigued. I want to go there, but like I'm confused about it.
Well, I don't know. Because like why do they have like an incentive to show a Disney Plus show? Like it's like we don't know what the contract is, right? Like and from experience, like I mean, I don't know before Orlando, but there hasn't been like a live action preview of anything, like a whole show. Or
well,
I mean,
Chicago, they did Mandalorian. Yeah.
I mean, no, but they they did like a trailer of Mandalorian, and they brought out Pedro Pascal and
Daddy.
Jon Favreau, and you missed that one, so
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, because of the lottery system. But hey, it's fair.
Fair. Thankfully, I got it, so
it's fair.
Fair.
I'm not. Fair. It's you can't be jealous with fate. I mean, with luck. Luck
I mean, you still got to meet Timothy Than, and get your backpack full of book signs. So.
Yes, like I felt a little bad about that, but not really, because everyone does it the first one. It's like, hey,
sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, the next time it's just one. So I already got all of them signed. Sorry, not sorry. But then after that panel, we have Attack of the Chords, the music of episode 2 with David Collins at 1 through 2, which if you were like our friend Chrysanthi or like their viewers who like deconstructing the music of Star Wars, that should be a really fun one to see all the musical themes and everything from that movie and how it connects to the rest of the things, to the rest of the film. Sorry.
Really cool. That sounds like a really cool panel.
Afterwards, one that I'm interested in is the Lucasfilm my English shut down. Lucasfilm Publishing Stories from a Galaxy Far, Far Away, from 1 to 2 at the Twin Suns stage. It's gonna feature new and upcoming titles from Disney Lucasfilm Press, Del Rey, Dark Horse, and more. So that should be really, really fun, actually, to see all the books. I think all the publishing efforts that Lucasfilm has been doing have been really successful, not just with all the High Republic things, but Thrawn, and now with I forgot the name of the Luke Skywalker novel that's going to come out soon, but there's a bunch of like interesting titles that are coming out on publishing. So this should be a fun one. Obviously, it's for like, it's a different level of nerd, because you have like the big nerddom of the movies, followed then by TV shows, but then animated shows, then video games, and then books. Or like So hopefully on that one we're able to get comics. A seat, and then comics. So hopefully we can get a seat on that one. But it should be interesting. It should be an interesting one.
But then the next one is for everybody.
The next one is for everybody. It's the master of puppets himself, Papa Palpatine, Ian McDermott. An audience with the Emperor.
Just going backstage and like hearing out like his experience must be like mesmerizing. And
yeah, it's one of those things that well, it's interesting because it's been teased by him and others that he might be I think the quote is that his presence will be felt on Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I don't know if that's him implying that he'll actually appear on the show, or if it'll be a voice cameo or what, but it only makes sense, right? That Papa Papi would be like, in that show. There must be like at least one scene where he's talking with Vader. It's like, go kill your old master, or something like that, or a hologram, or like something. There has to be something, or it's Empire Day, right? And then like there's a hologram of him talking to whatever. But it should be cool because Ian McDermott, he's a thespian, so I'm sure he'll command the stage. Following up, 2:30 to 4, Star Wars collectible update with Lucasfilm's Ryan Merton. If you're into like collecting props, that should be a fun one for you. Then after that, there's a second publishing panel. So this is something that's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of publishing in this convention. But there's the High Republic for Light and Life panel from 3 to 4 on the Galaxy stage. And we're going to have the wonderful Christina Ariel hosting with all the luminous authors, Claudia Gray, Justina Ireland, Daniel Jose Alder, Cavan Scott, Charles Soule, along with James Wan and Michael Siglin from Lucasfilm to talk about not just phase 1 of the High Republic, but also give us some announcements and reveals for phase 2 of the High Republic, Quest of the Jedi. That one's really exciting, and I'll definitely be wanting to go there as a High Republic fan. For everyone that watches on the YouTubes, you can see my shelf of High Republic books. So that'll be good, because High Republic's doing a lot of heavy lifting for Star Wars, not just in really fun and engaging storytelling, but also inclusive and diverse representation. So good job, High Republic. We just hope that that jumps into live action or animation in some way, so that we can, it's easy to do representation when not a lot of people are aware of it or can participate in it. But when you do something for representation that everyone has to engage in, that's when you deserve all the kudos. So Lucasfilm, you heard us, or we'll pull out of the show.
Yep.
We won't do our panel. We're gonna boycott it. We're gonna do a Ron DeSantis on you and just no, we won't. Sorry. We're not Ron DeSantis. So Bo, what do you feel? How do you feel about Thursday? Yeah.
I think I probably Thursday just feels like this where the heavy, this is the future of Star Wars.
It's a good way to look at it.
I think, we'll get to the other days, but I feel like this might be the day that has like the most like forward thinking showcases, moments of like, what are we expecting of Star Wars? What's happening? Like, where are we headed? I love, like, that they have a little bit of everything. They still have like, they have like insights from like music and some actors, but also I think the double focus on the publishing. I think this implies that they're taking it more seriously. I'm sure that's being reflected in their sales. I'm sure like more and more people are starting to like read and get into just and I'm sure probably you can do a study of it, but there has to be a correlation with like it's more accessible, has more representation, has more like access for anybody from any background to like join into Star Wars. It's not anymore. It's not limited anymore to, you're a Skywalker or
like you have to know 40 years of lore to get into it. You can just jump in.
You can just jump in.
It's new. Yeah.
It's new. It's a it represents a lot more backgrounds. It's more inclusive and more acceptance. So I think that reflects it's especially in the reading audience. So
going into Friday is the merchandise day, I think. It's the merchandising day. And the first panel of the day that they have announced here is from 12:30 to 1:30 on the Galaxy stage, called The Summer of Lego Star Wars. But what I feel interesting about this is that it's not at 11, because usually the big panel of the day is the first one at 11, and Friday does not have one yet. And I wonder if there's a surprise panel for Obi-Wan Kenobi, because the show is we're gonna get that deuce, that deuce of episodes at midnight that Friday. So I think it's a little weird that we wouldn't celebrate it at the convention. And I wonder if this is where my sleuthing is, not sleuthing, hopeful, wishful thinking is coming into play. I wonder if there's like a mystery here, a surprise for everyone to expect. It's just like there's gonna be like a surprise panel with Ewan McGregor and everyone that's watching the show at midnight or something, because it's odd because all the other days have the same structure, with 11 being the first panel except Friday, which I think is suspicious. Am I crazy, or does that make sense to you?
I don't know, it makes sense. I wonder even if they'll never announce it. They'll run the lottery by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll just send.
And here's another
they'll just
reason.
Send the you're invited to this panel at 11 a.m.
Yep. But here's another one I just noticed, because we have that Summer of Lego Star Wars panel, which is at 12:30 at the Galaxy stage, and then we have a simultaneous panel, of which is another publishing panel actually, which I find interesting. I have 3 publishing panels, which is also at 12:30 at the Twin Sun stage, but we don't have a main panel that day at the Celebration stage, which is like the main stage at 11. So I think my conspiracy theory might have. I think I'm right.
You're connecting the dots.
I think I'm right. This is a conspiracy theory. I think I'm right. This is a better conspiracy theory than the moon landing or the Earth is flat. I think there might be something to this. And if I'm wrong, well, you can make fun of me on the comments. But
okay.
We have a most favorite panel so far, which is the Summer of Lego Star Wars.
Yes.
After that, like we said, the Lucasfilm Publishing, but this one's more like behind the scenes. Yeah, it is more like behind the scenes books, like the Abrams stuff, which is like kind of like the Star Wars archives or the Art of Mandalorian, those type of books. Then at 2, we have a big panel, 2 to 3, Star Wars Attack of the Clones, the 20th anniversary celebration panel. So obviously we're going to have special guests and behind the scenes things. And if it's anything like the Star Wars Celebration Chicago, which we went to the Phantom Menace 20th anniversary celebration, which, oh my God, I totally forgot the name of the actor who plays Jar Jar Binks, and I feel terrible about it.
I'm
going to fact check myself real quick. Ahmed Best. I knew it was Ahmed, but I was like, no, it's not Reese Ahmed. It's Ahmed Best. There we go. We had Ahmed Best. We had Ian McDermott. Who else was on that panel? Whatever. It was a really cool panel to kind of see like some of those actors discuss it. But here we'll definitely have Ewan McGregor. So I think it stands to reason that we can have Hayden Christensen.
That is possible. I mean, we might have Ewan McGregor and Hayden.
Oh yeah, and Anthony Daniels. And maybe wild card.
And Natalie Portman.
That's what I was gonna say. There we go. That's what I was gonna say. The wild card. Natalie Portman
with her guns just like blazing.
Yeah, with Mjolnir. It's just like I am late. I am Thor now. Oh my God. I think Natalie Portman would be a wild card. I'm not. I think that's like a 10% chance, but I think Hayden Christensen is all but guaranteed. I think he's gonna be like at that surprise panel on Friday, and he's gonna be an autograph guest and a photo guest, and he's gonna do joint photos with Ewan McGregor.
Boom.
Goose guarantee.
Goose guarantee.
Actually, maybe not, but I'm fairly confident. I'm more confident about this than other things in life. So concurrently with that, I mean, you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. But then we have the Star Wars merchandise sneak peek, Disney Parks and Shop Disney. So if you're into acknowledging that you just waste money on merch, even though we all do, but you want to actually participate in that panel's for you, maybe. At 3, we have an ILM Labs Tales from Galaxy's Edge virtual reality making of. That should be fun if you play the game with your Oculus or whatever it is that you play to do virtual reality. That should be kind of a cool behind the scenes thing. Yeah. Hasbro Star Wars panel. They're going to announce some action figures. They're going to announce action figures today if you're listening on Star Wars Day. So they're going to announce more action figures. This is a panel that's just like, I don't know that you need to be in person to see like a 6-inch, 10-inch action figure that you can see better at home when watching to YouTube. But I collect Black Series action figures. but I don't know if like this is a
But
panel that's made
but
for
it
me.
does says there might be a few surprises, so you might get freebies. Might get.
They're not gonna give people. They'll give them like I don't know. There's always freebies in all these panels. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying that the panels suck. I'm just saying that I doubt the coolness of some of them. Then at 4 we have from a galaxy far, far away to a Disney park near you. It's like
they're really peddling the Star Wars mark.
Synergy. I mean, and then they go even harder. It's like not just are you like talking about the parks, then you go even harder into the parks from 5 to 6 with 35 years of Star Tours. It's like, it's like synergy. That's it. Let's play Star Wars, a Galaxy Tabletops game from 5 to 6. I'm not big into board games, but if you are, that seems like it's a beautiful panel for you to attend. We need a little something for everybody. And then finally, to conclude, Friday, we have Behind the Audiobook, Making Audio Original Star Wars Adventure, which if you listen...
The game one says bring it back. You may even leave with a few games of your own. So they are telling you will get free games. So
which game? The tabletop?
Yeah. So
okay. So if you're into that, make sure to go to get freebies. Freebies are always good.
Go and get freebies. I want a tabletop game for Star Wars.
No, I only charge for shipping if I get it. But Behind the Audiobook, if you're into Star Wars audiobooks, they say that the production quality on those are amazing. So if you want to see how they make them, that seems like a cool one. I, for one, don't listen to audiobooks because I can't focus on them. I can barely focus on reading a book, but an audiobook, just my mind just wanders. So not for me, but if that's, exactly. But if that's for you, cool. Saturday, the most important day of the convention. Because Triad of the Force.
The 11 to 12.
The 11 to 12, Saturday, May 28th, 11 to 12 at the podcasting stage. Triad of the Force featuring Katrina Dennis and Alden Diaz. That's it. That's everything that's happening on Saturday. Forget about anything else. Forget about it. No one is important. There's this other panel happening called Mando Plus, a conversation with John Favreau. I don't know how to say those names. Dave Filon. I don't know. Two random guys are coming to talk about, two randos coming to talk about Mando, the Mando Plus. So, I mean, obviously that will be a great panel. The cool thing about that one will be the insinuation with Mando Plus, that obviously the bigger world there. So the implication of like how this connects to Book of Boba Fett. Well, obviously we know it connects to Book of Boba Fett, but going into the future, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and everything else that's coming, and the whole streaming universe that they're creating, and that what direction that could be. So that should be interesting, but not as interesting as Triad of the Force. At 1, behind the scenes of The Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett. That should be a really, really cool one if you're into like how the sausage is made. Is that you'll have every
you if you missed, this is why it's important. You can always miss the first panel, because then you will have again Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni talking. So in essence, you get the same talk. Let's just skip the first one, go to the
second one.
Go to the second one.
They won't be there, but they'll talk about more interesting things. It's just like how you make the things you love. That's more important. How they use like the stagecraft, which is like the the dome or whatever it's called. That I totally forget the name. All the names I'm forgetting about right now. Then there's a Star Wars cosplay competition at 1. If you're into cosplay, this is the panel for you. Star Wars Hunters. If you're into
great cosplayers out of there.
There are amazing cosplayers.
Amazing cosplayers.
Amazing. Cosplay is not my cookies and cream. It's not my jam. It's not, but there's a lot of people that do it and do it well. So if you are into, maybe you're not into it doing yourself, but you like seeing other people, go to that panel. You won't be disappointed. Star Wars Hunters. If you're into that game, I think that's a mobile game that's coming out. That's the only video game thing that's happening, but go, I guess. I'm more interested though in from 2:30 to 3:30, Tales of the Jedi, which is one of the main panels at the celebration stage. So it's a revival of the comic books to an extent, to a degree, the Tales of the Jedi comic books, and it's going to be an anthology of shorts. And this panel is going to be hosted by Amy Radcliffe with that other guy we mentioned before, Dave Filoni. So if you like that guy and you're into Tales of the Jedi, go do it.
And just always remember, if you like that guy, this is that guy's favorite show. So
that's just true. He did send us an email once, like, "Oh, can I be on your show?" And we're like, "I don't think you have the pedigree yet, but he wants to. So maybe after we see him here, we'll decide if he is worthy or not." Here's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most this day, which is Doug Chiang designing The Mandalorian from 4 to 5. Everyone should, I don't know if everyone's aware, but Doug Chiang is the vice president and executive creative director at Lucasfilm. He has been at Lucasfilm since the days of The Phantom Menace, being one of the art directors. He's created the battle droids, the Trade Federation ships, the Naboo Starfighter. Like now he's creating like the Razor Crest and like all this world of Mandalorian. So he is amazing artist and designer, and he will be doing this panel where he goes behind the process of the Mandalorian. So if you're a design nerd like me, I'll see you there and I'll give you a sticker. Maybe we can take a picture with Doug after the show.
Doug will get a sticker.
Doug will get a sticker. Hopefully he doesn't throw it away, but he will get one. He might get two, actually. Or a 4:30 to maybe a pin if I get them done. Marvel Star Wars comics is from 4:30 to 5:30. I'm okay with the Star Wars comics. I read some of them. They're cool. If you're really into comics, then definitely do this one. IMC 3PO with Anthony Daniels. I feel like this is a panel that happens every year because it happened at Orlando, happened at Chicago.
It will keep happening.
It will keep. I think Anthony Daniels is immortal. So yeah, this will be a panel that will always happen.
And it's always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to see Mr. Anthony Daniels there and talk about the same stories all over again. But there's always someone that hasn't heard the stories before. So if you haven't, go. It should be cool. He's gonna be signing autographs too, so make sure to get those. And now our fifth.
Our brown autographs usually.
So I lost count. Is this the fourth? The fourth publishing? Fourth. I thought it was 3. Holy crap! 4 publishing panels at 6 to 7. The Del Rey behind the scenes. So this one's gonna be cool too. This is talking about the books that have already been announced. The name, and here's the name of the book that I have forgotten. Shadow of the Sith. That's the book I was referring to before. I didn't remember the name. That should be cool. So now they're gonna be talking about those books and like how they came to be. So definitely a cool here. Like I think the best thing so far of this convention will be all the publishing panels. So that's Saturday, the best day of the convention. What do you think, Mo?
I think it's like if a panel like has me like thinking like it's Tales of the Jedi, I think that's definitely the panel and the let's face it, to everybody doesn't get the lottery to go watch our show, and they have to regrettably watch the Mando Plus show. I'm sure that's gonna be a treat. Like everything you get there, and I'm glad they did like something for the fans, the Star Wars cosplay. Like I don't know, like giving them like a space, because you see the cosplayers all around the stages and like walking, but to actually like make a friendly competition and like make it recognizable, like once like a fan favorite of like the Star Wars convention, like cosplayer, like that's amazing. So I'm glad they at least gave that for the fans. So
yeah, I think the fan engagement with this convention is really, really good. Not just with the cosplay, but obviously with the podcast and all the opportunities that the that Lucasfilm is giving to these fan creators to be there and be like a part of it and showcase what they have to give. I think it's a really cool thing. And there's a lot of diversity this year, based on like all the panels that I've seen have been announced, and all the podcasts that I've seen have been selected. It's good, I think, because it's just a shift in focus, because media is not just the monolith of who creates it, but also who consumes it, because it's a cycle of consumption, and everything that it spits out, it generates like this group of people outside of it, like us, right, to an extent, that you could create from within that, to live out of its bounds. So like to be able to have all those people kind of come back and inject into it, it's really, really, really beautiful. So good job, Lucasfilm. Keep doing what you're doing, but do it better. So the final day. I thought this was gonna be a short episode, but we went very long. The final day, Sunday, May 29th. We start with the banger of all bangers, Star Wars. I was gonna read the Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2. So that's gonna be a good one.
You'll get an episode in that one.
Let's see. I don't know if we'll get it.
Well, I don't know. It's again with the whole Disney Plus thing.
I think you might be right. I think we might get an episode, a trailer, 100%, because I think the show's coming out in the summer. I think it's definitely coming out this year, but I think it's coming out in the summer, and I think their animate. That's the thing with animation. When it comes out, it's been on the works for like a really long time because of the nature of how those shows come about. So they definitely have something ready, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's an episode or two. But at least one.
Yeah.
Then after that, a look back at Star Wars Visions from 12:30 to 1:30. So that should be good. And hopefully we don't just get all the stories and behind the scenes things from all our favorite Visions episodes, which is everyone listened to our Visions series. We loved it. But hopefully they, at the end of it, have a little announcement and say like, there's more. Visions 2.
Boom.
2 Visions, 2 Furious, or something like that.
Because
afterwards,
Visions 2 will be from the
Visions 2020.
Artists, that cartoonist. I hope they also like, because I wonder if like the visions we got, if they were also like made short, or maybe they had episodes that didn't release, so maybe they'll showcase like, oh, there's something that was really cool but never made it to.
That's I'm sure that a lot of these, they're like, okay, how could we continue the story if they give us the chance? So like to see that would be really cool. So hopefully they do announce it. I did see, I think it was our friend Alberto from Radio Rebellion had mentioned a while back that it would be cool to have Visions also be anthology and have it not just have this focus on like Japanese anime and all that stuff, but also focus on different cultures and their animations and their legends and stuff like that, and see how they interpret Star Wars as well. So that could be really cool, like to see, a Visions but from other cultural perspectives. I think that would really enrich that show even further. But after that, most favorite panel, probably the wonderful world of Wookiees. From 1 to 2 at the Galaxy stage. Juna Swatamo, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm sorry, who plays Chewbacca in 7, 8, 9 and Solo Star Wars Story, along with Kerry Jones, who played Chrysanthemum in the Book of Boba Fett, and Charles Soule, who authored the lovable Burryaga from the High Republic stories, will be there to obviously talk about our favorite furry giants, but also pay a tribute to the legendary Peter Mayhew.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Afterwards, a screening of The Siege of Mandalore. So that's going to be cool to see that show in a group full of nerds. And then from 2 to 3, behind the scenes, the creatures of Return of the Jedi. If you're like our friend Tori Fox, who likes to build things and be, a creator of Star Wars, authentic Star Wars things and all the weathering, and are curious to know like how all these things for this iconic movie came to be. This is, the panel for you. A lot of interesting stuff. Amy Amy Radcliffe is going to be on that one, so it should definitely be an interesting one. And then finally, the closing ceremony where they will announce the next convention with like what we can expect. So that rounds up I was going to say season 5 for some reason, but that rounds out Sunday. What did you think of Sunday? Obviously, it's a short day, but I think there's a couple of cool nuggets in there.
I always like Sundays on the celebration because like most people like it's more relaxed. Like there's a more, like a little bit of nostalgia, like that this whole event is gonna come onto a wrap, and but
it's like graduation day in high school. Like, the final day of high school.
Yeah, it's like but I like that the first two things, it's a showcase of like the animation side of Star Wars, and I think a lot, especially the younger generations, started Star Wars through animation. Like
it's probably true with Clone Wars and Rebels.
Clone Wars, Rebels, like it's probably what brought them to Star Wars, and it's probably also like a really good bonding for parents as well. All the fans of like, wow, like I can bond with my child. I don't have to sit through a 2-hour long movie for my kid to understand what's going on. I can just watch an animated show and they enjoy it, I enjoy it. Like it's made for everybody. So to have like that shout out to both like the Bad Batch and Visions, which is like both have been amazing and stand their own ground within the Star Wars universe. Like I think that's amazing. Then it's always shout out to the Wookiees. Like if I was there, that will be my panel. I will be there. Oh, for sure.
That's a good note. Yeah, to wrap up on. Like shout out to the Wookiees. But do you have any like final thoughts though? Like now, I mean, we talked about like how we felt about this coming in, but now that we kind of went through it, how do you feel about everything?
I think it's gonna be a treat. It's not gonna be something like, oh, you're mind blown like all the other celebrations where you're like expecting like a major film and a trailer, and it comes with like its own just worthy moments. Like it's but here it's more like let's see what we got. It's I like that.
I like that. It's hors d'oeuvres, right? It's just like you're just eating a lot of good stuff instead of this, like instead of like lobster or something.
Exactly. It's not like like they're pulling out the roasted pig. It's not that. It's definitely not.
They just have pork sliders.
It's the sliders. It's the little tasting.
But they're delicious. They're delicious.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's good to balance things out. You can't have a feast all the time. You can have a menu.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's what this celebration feels like it's catered for. That I think it's more catered to fans to reconnect, like on a more we've been shut down. There's been all these things, so like maybe the panels aren't meant to be that amazing, so that people are out there mingling and like talking and experiencing Star Wars, because I think that's one of the most rewarding things from going to the celebrations. It's like you get to see the amazing diversity, the inclusivity that is the fandom, and then it's not all the all the hatred and all the saltiness that you see on Twitter or like Reddit, or it's actually
very true. Yeah,
it's the other way around. It's so like accepting and encouraging. So I think that might be what this convention, I mean, the celebration is going to be all about. Like,
Yeah.
let the fans meet and grow, and that's what made Star Wars what Star Wars is, right? Like for many years there wasn't movies or shows or things coming out. It was just the fans getting together
The community. Yep.
and just talking about the prospect of like what is Star Wars, how it's changed them. And I think that's what this celebration seems to be catering towards. What about you, Goose?
I would totally agree with you. Like the word that I was thinking of when you were saying that was homecoming. And I think that's what this convention is going to be. Not a homecoming for Star Wars. It's going to be a homecoming for fans to like finally be able to kind of like get back together and like, you know, share again in the things that they love. So that's something that an emotion that I felt lately, that is just like I'm more excited to be at the convention to kind of meet everyone that like we've engaged with on, you know, on our socials and that we've met through the podcast and so on and so forth, more so necessary than the panels. Not that I'm not excited for the panels. I'm always excited for panels and more Star Wars and content and blah 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 blah, but it really is about the friends we made along the way, as cheesy as that is. Because I mean, what's the point of like having all of this media if we don't have people to share it with and to just enjoy it with and be happy and loving with? I mean, and I think that's the point. Star Wars is about, it's about love. Just like I love you and I love Nanny, and like now it's about like loving even more people and coming together and sharing that love. Love is love.
Love is love.
And on that note, what better note to end this podcast than with love and love? We have been Triad of the Force. Thank you so much for listening to us. We thought we were gonna do like a shorter episode and just like bam, 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 go through everything quickly. But you know, we went in and we did the dives. We did the dives head first, and we really dissected everything here. So thanks for joining us. If you don't, please follow us. We are everywhere where you can find us on social media, from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I don't need Discord. It's too many things to keep track of. I have work. But you can find us on all of those at Triad of the Force. If you want to support the channel, we have a TeePublic store with a bunch of cool Star Wars t-shirts that you can buy to support the channel. Beyond that, we also have YouTube if you prefer to listen to your podcast and seeing our faces. And if you are there, please make sure to share, like, subscribe, follow, do all the things, leave a comment, hit that bell for notifications, all those things. But with that, as always, we have been Triad of the Force. Thank you so much. May the Force be with you, and happy May the 4th. See you at the convention.